And we should be live anytime soon. Let's go. What's going on, champs? Hope you guys doing well. Fucking hell, FOMC was crazy, wasn't it, yesterday? Told ya. In terms of actually just letting the dust settle down, we're gonna have some explosive move up and down and whatnot. Was leaning bearish, right? Obviously, if you guys will see, we'll talk about it in a bit. That we took out liquidity on Monday's high on the beginning of FOMC, and then after that, took out liquidity on the downside. So the trade was done. Happy days. And then now we're seeing what happens with Bitcoin, what happens with dollar index, Ethereum, the lot. Yeah, is it an echo? Is there an echo? It shouldn't be an echo. Are you guys hearing an echo, or is it just John? Just confirm that there's no echo. Let's have a look on my side over here. Oh, it's fine. Okay, cool. Yeah, so FOMC was kind of crazy yesterday. So they raised it to 75 BPS, which means that interest rates are still high. They haven't been able to control it. They haven't gone back to 50, 25, or whatever. It's going to be bad. I think it's going to be bad. We talked about dollar index yesterday in terms of dollar index actually being going a lot more higher. I was talking about 111.3. We tagged that area now. Now we'll see what happens, how we react off it. We'll talk about it in just a moment. And looking at the mid range, which is about 113.5. That's the next area that I'm looking to see dollar index going. So Bitcoin is still holding, right? It's holding the support line. But you got to ask yourself, when you tap support so many times, one after another, how long will it take for it to break? So that June's low is holding, right? So let's just bring up the ranges. I'll just show it here. Give me a second there. So we've got June's range, right? Bit of a macro view here, and all it is, let's do this. Let's have a look. June's low, the high, and mid range. Keep it nice and simple. Yeah, the high, the low, and the mid range. Keep it nice and simple. And as you can see right now, price from the low went to the high, resistance came back down, support, we had a deviation over here. Now the question is, do we come back and hold above it and go a lot more higher, at least to these area here, and then reclaim to mid-range, filling up all this inefficiency, which we discussed back in the past, that it doesn't have to actually refill this. It doesn't have to refill it straight away, because when price was coming up here, a lot of us was looking to actually reclaim and go up higher to reclaim this. It doesn't have to do that now. It's the same thing as this. So you know how we had this price action up here? That was just a thin inefficiency right there. Price went up and held that area there for quite some time, for a good about 2-3 weeks, and then fills it out in one go. Oh, that's a nasty nuke. And then obviously you can start saying, oh, there's an inefficiency there. Do we fill this out? It doesn't have to. You always have to remember, don't always get suckered into the idea of that these massive inefficiency has to be filled out. It doesn't have to. Price will do whatever it wants to do, which is what a range bound environment, which is from the high back to the low, went from the low to the mid. Mid we rejected off there, and I was talking about it, that the fact that we actually came from the mid-range, did a deviation there, came below it, and it's closed below, it was going back to range low. Now I'm back to range low. What happens now? All right. So in terms of a key point, so if we were to look at some of these key factors there, what is the support and resistance? What's capping the market? So this low here is capping the market on the upside. So we can already say from this low, which is approximately 19.5k, if we were to reclaim the 19.5k area and hold above it, then we can see what happens, because we've got this area here is acting as resistance also. So let me show you. You see this area here? That's acting as resistance. So if I'm going to be leaning bearish, right, in terms of bias wise, I can see price coming up to here. So it might do something like this. Come into here. So let me change the colors. It might do something like this. Come up, pop into this area, right? It's already found resistance once. Finds resistance, break down, and this is your confirmation for you to short it back to the June's low. And then from the June's low, we'll see what happens. We hold above it and reclaim and keep range banding here for a little bit longer, or are we going to finally lose this level here, find resistance, and take out liquidity at this June's low, and then off we go. So at the moment, July's range is holding the July's range is actually holding the the range band environment itself. So because you can see like when I say like July's range, like when you look at a range, you always got to look at where is the focus of price. Price has been focused in this area here. It's not focused below here. It's not focused up here or even higher. It's focused within this monthly candle. This monthly candle is where it's all this whole price action's at. So we're gonna focus on that, and then we bring up our levels, and we got Monday's level. We see what happens. Let's talk about Monday, and let's talk about the FOMC. The FOMC, and this is why I said this yesterday, right? If I don't know if you guys actually picked up on the alpha, right? The fuck, Telegram's going mad. Let me just close the Telegram. Let me just close the Telegram. Don't want no disturbance here. I'm gonna quit Telegram. There we go. Fuck Telegram for now. You don't need no Telegram here. You fucking. John Caboose was saying, "What's going on, Tom?" Oh, we got. Sorry, I didn't really look at the thing in the chat properly. You got Cruz here, got Derry, Justin, Guna, we got John Caboose, we got Gandalf. How you doing, guys? Man, Final Country Club's always here every day, man. This guy is an absolute legend. Martha's here. Morning to you too. We got who else we got as well? We got Nick here. How you doing, Nick? We got Thomas. I'm having a great day, man. I'm having a great day. I mean, like I had a short on BTC around here. I will talk about it in just a moment. Went to Mondays though. I'm good to go as well. So we'll see what happens there. So Cruz is saying, is there any update for? So the country club's available. So for those who actually want to join the CC, and there's two sets of ways. I've done this before and I'll do this now again. Let me have a look. Let me bring up my Twitter. So if I go to Twitter, bring this right over there. That's it. There we go. So I go to. There's two ways to do it, right? So if you go to Daink's C Club, you can literally join the country club by two ways. Number one, you can literally go onto the website. On the first post that's up there, that's the website itself, and you know it's got all the information there, the kind of services that we do over there as a group. If you go to plans and pricing, you will literally see the whole thing, and that you can do it by card. You can do it like literally by your card. If you don't want to do it by card and you want to do it by crypto, not a problem. We do have a solution for that. The second link here, system.discord payment bot, that will take you to another link, and then it will give you access. Same thing, exactly the same thing. It's $100. Yeah, it's $100 a month. I can't even speak properly. Fuck. And if you go to subscribe now, and it will come up, and you can just choose the currency you want to pay, and off you go. Just follow the instructions, and it's pretty straightforward. The Discord bot itself, this page itself will actually give you a link automatically to the Discord server. If you do it through the Trader Daink website, you will get an email, which will be from an email called info@traderdaink.com, and it might be in your junk, so double check your junk there. We had a couple of guys who were actually saying they didn't get no email, but then obviously it was all in the junk, so just double check that. If not, you can always DM me. I'm more than happy to help out. So yeah, Bitcoin. What's up? Yeah, links in description. Thank you so much for that, Nick, man. I really appreciate that. Dubsdorf, good to have you here as well. Michael Caffrey, what you saying, brother? Trader Cash, we got Pirate here. Yeah, fugitive. I'm doing all right now. I was feeling ill, but I'm doing a lot better now. Now that I'm back here with you guys. Morning Stars here as well. Japan calls the Dixie to fall. Yeah, the Japanese yen. So that's what it was. So we talked about it yesterday. So quickly, before we carry on. So we've got quite a number of things. The Bank of so let's go. Forex Factory. It was about the BOJ, Bank of Japan, core CPI. We have the press conference coming up. SNB coming up today. Monetary policy, official bank rating for the pound sterling. This big week as well. I mean, like we know the 75 BPS for the Feds raised it. The Swedish actually raised it to 100, which just shows you that even in Europe is doing shit. And so tomorrow we've got the German flash manufacturing PMI. Fed Powell chair speaks at 7 o'clock tomorrow. So I think we're in a bit of a shithole, really, if you ask me, in terms of the global markets. So we'll see what happens. At the moment, we know how things are. Let's talk about the price action yesterday. Okay, so price action wise, and actually I leaked out an alpha to you guys, right? I said when the FOMC happens, right, you're gonna get a range band environment. That first wick, whether it's up, so let it do its thing, so price range bounds, then you get something like if it's you got the FOMC meeting and you get price pushes up like a fast wick up, that move here, this move here means I'm ready to short the market, and now I need to wait for a setup. right? And I explained to you with the chart as it is. So what happened was FOMC, you get price goes up and it goes up, it can go down, it goes up, and then before he actually makes a decision to go like this, for example, to go down, right? Or if it was the opposite, so price consolidates, pushes down, I'm getting ready to long. So price will go up and then goes down. It will be really, really volatile. Look for a play and then go up higher. This move here, this official first move here is the key. That's what I like to look at. So if I wanted to trade the FOMC, I like to look at that. Look at this on Monday's range. So FOMC happened at 7 o'clock, right? And as you can see, right at 7 o'clock around there, around here, this wick here, 7 o'clock the UK time, that's where we made the high. We took out liquidity. I wasn't too pleased about taking a trade yesterday, because if it wasn't FOMC, the fact that we were coming over here, right? So you know we had this range bound environment right over here. If it wasn't FOMC, we would see a breakdown, and that would give us confirmation for us to take a short with a stop loss there, for example, playing back to 25% of the range and then range low, taking out liquidity, and we'll see what happens. But at the beginning of the week on Tuesday, I was saying that the fact that we didn't take out liquidity here at the first, because we were pushing down. The fact that we didn't take liquidity here wasn't a good sign to me. It wasn't a good sign to me. What that showed to me is like, okay, there's going to be a fucked up little price action there. That's mainly because of FOMC, right? So we look at 7 o'clock. As you can see, we got Monday's high. It's all in red. Price shoots up at 7 o'clock. And right here was for me, I was looking ready to get short. Obviously, I'm not going to take a short over here or catch this wick. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let it do its thing, let it settle down. So price shoots up, comes back down, bounces off the July's low. Is that July's low? Yeah, that's July's low. And it comes back up, right? And it hits this again. Hits the Monday's high. Now, when I was watching this, right? I was watching this with my family, right? Obviously, my sister wasn't too pleased because I borrowed her iPad in it to take the trade to watch this chart. So I was looking at this, right? And this is what happened. Start watching this, comes back up, and I'm seeing, okay, the first area of resistance, we're not able to reclaim this and hold above it. Then it comes back in. It closes, once it closes below here, I'm still, to me, that we're still range bound because this is capping the market. The next candle now what I do is from this candle here, I draw a line across and I'm watching this. I want us to get back below here, right? I want to get us back below here. So it comes back up one more time, holds above it, consolidates in this area, then we start to lose it. Then I enter right over here. So my stop loss was over here and my entry was about here. So I don't know how much the play was because I was with the guys in DCC when the target hit. We was literally doing a live session last night, and then when the target hit, I was like, target's gonna about hit. So short position. So I entered around, let's just say here, it doesn't really matter. Stop loss was about there. And I played it all the way back down. Take profits, a 2.5R trade, and that was it. And that was the play there for me. Nothing else, nothing too fancy. Kept it nice and short and simple. And this move here was at 8:15 when I got in. So literally from 7 o'clock, it's like an hour and 15 minutes. After 2 hours, right? After 2 hours, what I like to leave, right? Which is at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock is where? It's about here. At 2 o'clock, right? At 9 o'clock, right? 2 hours later, price we got here. So even if you didn't get the trade and you wanted to let the dust settle, you are playing over here. The moment we lose this low here, lose the mid-range, and you can see price bounces off the mid-range. It doesn't reclaim this high over here. This is capping the market. Oh fuck, I can't even draw, man. Jesus Christ. This high is capping the market there. You can see resistance, right? It's a range bound environment from that high to, let's just say, this low here. And then the fact that we get back below, range bound over here, get below the mid-range. Here is where you could have entered the trade. You could put a stop loss there, playing it back to 25% range and range low. That wouldn't have been a problem, and I think that's probably, I mean, there's a compounding position there, but I wasn't even able to actually trade properly. So even if you were to enter, let's say you were to enter around here, for example, let's keep it realistic, stop loss there, and you can still play it back down. I mean, the first target would have been a 1.1 trade, second target would have been 2.6 trade, so happy days. And then and the fact, as we can see, what happened with BTC, took out liquidity right here, closed there, see this low here? Look at this low here. It's showing us bullishness for us to actually take longs. I mean, obviously this happened during Asia, so I wasn't around. This is the long there. Let's do it properly, right? There we go. Price gets below it, takes this down, comes back up, holds it support, comes support, deviation, holds it at support one more time. And the fact that was a cue to actually take a long right here with your stop loss here. And now the fact, right, if I were to remove all this, whoops, look at market structure as well. Oops, not this one here. Do market structure. See this high over here? Once we break above this high over here, find support, you could have entered there, bring your stop loss there, right? Because this is a range bound environment, and play back to mid range, right? So now what's happening with BTC? Well, we're above the mid range, and we're coming to a certain area there. We're coming back above the mid range, and now we're going to look at what's happening now. Are we bullish or bearish? You tell me. Just before I carry on, I want to know what everyone's thinking, because it's always me talking, right? But I want to know what you guys think. Thank you, Country Club, man. I really appreciate the love that you're showing me as well. I mean, the guys see what I've done as well in the Country Club. Well, the first session was, what did we do in the first session? We talked about ranges. They got homework. So on Friday, I'm going to mark these guys' homework as well. We're going to do a live session on Friday evening, and we're going to go through like all their charts as well. And I'm going to mark them out as it is on live session as well. It will be on we got like a private YouTube as well, so no one can see that. And so these guys will actually learn from it as well. So they're getting better and better. We did a session yesterday, and we'll try and fit another session there as well. I think what's important for the guys in the Country Club, which I'm seeing, is risk management is also an important thing, and talking about journaling. So I think the guys in the DCC, that's what we're going to be doing next as well. Journaling is going to be an important one as well. I'll give you an example from my journal, some of the kind of things I'll be looking for, what I use as well. Yeah, so above the mid range. So everyone's saying bearish, crypto bullish. Crypto bullish. Crypto Cruise is saying bullish. Goon is saying is bearish. Cryptique is bearish. Above mid range, yeah, I agree with you. Above the mid range, you can say it's bullish there. Like short term, we're talking about, right? I'm short term bullish and ultimately looking for short entries higher up. Good man, NR. Trader Cash is saying higher time frame bearish, lower time frame bullish. Yeah, I think that's what everyone's actually having that. So everyone's got a bias there. You see, guys, we talked about bias yesterday. So when you look at a bias, you're looking at from a high time frame working your way down to low time frame, and we can still say the fact that we're in this range bound environment within Monday's range. I don't know if you guys remember, back in it was about a month ago or 2 months ago, we played a Monday's range where we played trades all within the highs and the lows. We just played this whole move for the whole week, and we made a phenomenal play, a very, very phenomenal play. And it was just a pretty much straightforward play. The question is, are we going to do something like this? Are we going to range band over here? We don't fucking know. We don't know, but we'll see what happens. Oh, thank you, Cruz. Welcome to the DCC. You should get an email soon. We'll sort that out in just a moment as well. If you haven't got any email in the next half an hour or so, we'll sort that out in a bit. But yeah. We get going there. So now we got Pirates in the group as well. If you guys are interested as well, you can always chat to Pirate. She's a crazy ass chick, she is though. I ain't gonna lie to you. Anyway, so Bitcoin. So we got people saying bearish, bullish as well, which is fine. Higher time frame bearish, lower time frame bullish. Okay, cool. Now the key thing on Bitcoin we need to watch out is seeing what happens, right? So price, right? We talked about BTC on another chart, which is this chart here. Is it this chart? No, that's not the chart. Where was the chart? What was I doing? Fuck knows. Anyway, fuck it. So no, that's not it. Oh yeah. So another thing as well yesterday. See how we took out liquidity and we found that support. Do you remember we talked about this? Even in the group, we talked about this yesterday. We talked about this being a range from this high to this low here, and we talked about this is a past range itself, right? Now, what happened here? Support, come back to range high. Now the question is, do we hold above it, break out these highs, then we can go back to the night. Remember I said 19.5k, but on the weekly range low, right, it's 19.6k, right? So slight variance depending on the levels that you're looking at, right? That's what we're looking at. Or do we do something like this? Goes back down, break down, and there we go. And that's 19.1k. And then we play back to level into this area here, and then squeeze into this level there. Now if I go into a lower time frame, I want to just check out, do we have a trend line? Because someone in the group, right, actually, who is it? I can see it. Let me have a look in the group quickly. It was Ed. So Ed Shah's, right, was showing me a lower time frame. Was it Ed? It was Ed, I believe. I think it was Ed. Ed showed me like a channel, right? Which I really loved about that as well from him, where he picked out a channel. Okay, so you see this, right? This low here. See how we got a channel right there? We've got support. Yeah, we've got support over here. That's all good. You know what? I don't like how this is showing on the screen right there. There we go. Right. So we got support over here. We're in no rush to take a trade, right? I wouldn't start saying, yo, yeah, guys, take a long, because just because you see this little push over here, don't start taking longs, right? Just take it easy. Just relax, take it easy, man. And then we got, you can see that, we can say that's a thingy, a rising wedge kind of thing. I want to see his chart actually. Give me a second. I'm not gonna bring it up, but I'm just gonna see his chart because it wasn't a very interesting chart that he showed me as well. Yeah, I see what he did. So I see what he did. I love that. So he used this. Is it this? Is what he did? How did he do it? Give me a second, guys. Let's bring this over here. Sorry, guys. Okay. That's what I mean. Sometimes, you know, when these guys actually do show me something, I'm quite intrigued by it as well. I'm very intrigued by it. So he got it from here. Oh, that's Ethereum. Oh, it's an Ethereum chart. Anyway, never mind. So you see how we got this support over there? My bad. I'm just losing the fucking plot here. So you see we got this support over here, and the question is, do we come back down? Well, I would like to see us come back down. Why? We're finding some sort of resistance off. Let's have a look. Draw 15 minutes, 10 minutes will do. Right? You see this area here? Let's do this there. Yeah, it's from here. See this low there? That's where we find resistance. You got support, come back down, resistance, deviation, find some resistance, we get back up, we find a bit of support, and this is where the FOMC chop is, right? So it's going to be a bit of a chop there. So all this you can count this as an anomaly, right, in a way, because it's all chop. This is not natural movement here. It definitely is a natural movement. I mean, this would have been the deviation, which is why on a normal day would have done something like this, break down and go a lot more lower, but because of FOMC chop, you got this is what we call an anomaly. It's data that we can actually ignore, but it does have some sort of, you know, value to it anyway. And we're finding again deviation, finding resistance. So now if we draw that trend line here, right, you can see this trend line there. Now come back to the mid-range, fill out all this inefficiency. We see how we react. If we lose the mid-range and lose the trend line, what happens? This will be a shorting opportunity back into target 1, and that will be the what you call it, the July's low. From July's low, we'll come back down, target 2. Fuck off. Target 2 at that 25% range, and then back to 23%. Probably I'll look at see how we react over here. See how we react over here, because if we start holding above it and breaking above, that will be a cue for us to cut the trade on the shorts there. Okay, does that make sense there? And that's it. So that's what we're looking for ETH, so BTC. What I'm a bit trying to be cautious on there is this, right? Now, if I want to be bullish, right, how do I play the bullish game now? If I go on the 15 minutes, let's go on the hourly, right? Problem with the hourly, right? You see this candle here? This, to me, is going to be some sort of reaction there, right? Because what happened is, price come back down, retest it, we look for a reaction from there, and we can get some sort of reaction as a resistance. You might retest it one more time before it finally breaks down, and then off we go. So for me to be bullish, right, in terms of short play, I'm not in any longs. The long play was over here when we reclaimed this area here, or even from here. I've missed all this. I missed all this move there, so I'm not going to start longing anything. For us to start longing, I'd like to see us, let me just go down on a lower time frame. 15 minutes. For me to start longing, I need to see something like this now. So we've got a range band environment right over here. Let me just make this a bit more neater, because there's just too many lines in there. If I just do blue, Monday's high. Let's just make this a bit more wider. There we go. That's it. That's most bad. There we go. So we got Monday's high, Monday's low. Keep it nice and simple. Nothing too fancy. The mid range, and then we got 25% and 75%. Cool. Now let's remove everything else. There we go. Now we can start seeing what's going on. So you see this area of consolidation here. This was an area of consolidation right there. So now we can focus on this whole thing solely, because we're going to have some chop around the mid-range. See how we got chop over here around the mid-range? I can expect some chop around the mid-range because this is a range bound environment on the lower time frame. So now if we close here on the 15 minutes below here, because you know how we're finding support right over here, we start closing below there and we start breaking down. For me, I can take a trade with a stop loss here, playing it level to level. That's target 1, and this is the mid-range between these highs and the low, and then we can start focusing level to level. And then from there we start breaking down, squeezing it all the way down to the next set of targets. See how that's become resistance over here? That was resistance, final resistance. We got back up, hold the support, come back up, and we got to range high, did a bit of a deviation there. So really and truly, and that's the play we can play. Once we lose this low here, right, then we can start playing 25% of the range and squeezing it back down into this area here. That'll be the second target, and then going back to target 3, which is back into Monday's range, right? That's the short play there. Now, if I want to be bullish, how do I play this? All I got to do is just wait for the opposite. See, you got this inefficiency right here. I expect price to come back down, maybe retest the mid-range, because what happened is we play from low to mid, mid to high, high to mid, and then we go back to high, and then high to mid, mid to low, mid to high, low to mid, and then I expect some sort of reaction over here to come back up. Now all I'm doing now is literally just waiting for this to happen, hold above it, show me bullish price action, that'll be target 1, reclaim and hold above it, take out these highs there, and now I can say that's target 2, and then target 2, go to target 3, at least this in this area here, take out some profits there and squeeze into there, and we'll see what happens there. And that's just a bullish play of a lower time frame play. Once we reclaim and hold above it, then we can start looking for higher prices. And the same thing down on this side over here. If we start losing this area here, then we can start going for lower prices. So you know June's low, that's when we're taking June's low. So that's what the Bitcoin is doing, is literally in a range band environment. Because we're in a range band environment, let's just focus within the range. Don't focus about higher prices. Let's not get too excited about it. How many people got excited about this candle over here? How many people got excited about when we was going down there? Let's not get excited. We're traders, we're lower time frame traders, we're day traders, and all we do, we just play the market as it gives us. Don't get suckered into the idea of actually fucking yeah, we're gonna go up higher to like 23, 24, 25k, or we're gonna go down lower to like to 15, 12, 10k. Let's not get suckered into it. We're nowhere near that. In fact, we're closer to 23k than we are to 10k. You know what I'm saying? So let's not get suckered into anything, and we just play it level to level as it comes. Once we break up and hold above it, then we start talking about higher prices, or break down, then we talk about lower prices. I was looking for lower prices yesterday, right? I was looking for lower prices at 17.5k, but the fact that this was just a wick, it wasn't a sign for me to start holding. So you see on the 15 minutes, right? You don't need a time frame of like an hourly or 4 hour to give you this wick. That 15-minute time frame, right? That wick there, and then the fact that we got back into the range, reclaimed this low over here, that was already enough for us to say, hang on a second, we're going back to mid-range, and that's what happened. So if you played during the Asia, you would have played it all the way up to here, and then you would play it to see how it goes, and then you're looking for mid to higher, right? Now we're at an all-important area. See, look, the 15-minute candle closed just inside of it, nothing too spectacular. So if I were to actually narrow it down on the 5 minutes, let's have a look. We got this coming up. I mean, we got like a trend line there. So if you break above it and hold above it, that's your first cue, right? This will be your first cue to start taking longs, playing it back to mid-range, especially once we take out these, well, really and truly, it's this high here. See this high up from this 15-minute candle? That's causing us problems there. So I wouldn't be shorting it just yet. If we start breaking down, start losing this, if we lose this low, that will be your cue to play it back down. If we get back up and hold above it, this will be your cue to go back up. So this, now you got two levels, and what happens is you got a range bound environment right there. You see how you use range bound environments from support and resistance. The guys would know. We talked about a couple of in the DCC. We talked about a couple of ranges on the first session. The first one is using a single candle. The second one is actually looking for highs and lows, and the third one is using SRs, support and resistance. It's all about the story. Once you understand the story and you're picking and pointing all these little things, is that you start to understand what you're looking for, and you're just waiting. And that's what it is. The key in trading is being patient. If you're not patient, you're gonna get fucked over. You know what I'm saying? So just be a lot more. Just be patient. There's no need to rush for anything. Let's see what everyone's saying. Bro, you don't have to thank me, Cruz, man. But it's just, this is what we're doing. It. This is what we do. We're all here to actually help each other. Ah, oh, bless you, Derry. Nah, soon, man. Don't worry about it, Derry. So, bro, I already learned a lot through the YouTube streams and got very profitable. So, well done, man. That's really, really good to hear. Yeah, he's tried his ETH. Yeah, I will do ETH in just a moment. Retest the mid-range and hold it and long. Yeah, so if you retest and hold the mid-range, right? Like I said, you can play it back into the range high, which was the range bound environment we're playing over there. And then from there, reclaim and hold above it. Take out these highs over here. Not these highs. Reclaim this high back to 75 and then back to range high. And all we're doing is from the low to mid to high. So at the mid, this is why I always take profits at mid-range, because we get some sort of reaction. Because what could happen, what could well happen, is that, let's just say, see we're closing into it now. So now we're going to see how we are to react off this area. So what could happen is that price come back down at the mid-range, does something like this, breaks down, and then you're like, okay, then you're flipping bias. So if you want a confirmation, it's losing this low here. That's what you'll be looking for. And then all you would say, okay, hang on a second, this is the mid-range, and that was just a deviation of the mid-range to go back to range low. And price is weaker and weaker. So the question is, is there any strength in the market? I don't think there's much strength. If you look at dollar index, right? Yeah, we can cover Solana. It's not a problem. If you look at dollar index, right? That's Bitcoin there. It's been on a rampage, though, if you ask me. On a mad-ass rampage. So this is 111.31. We talked about this in the stream last night. So what was so key about that? If you're on the weekly, that was the low over here. So we're gonna get naturally some sort of reaction there. Now, also I've been banging on this for quite some time. This is a range band environment here. From this low to this high, it's a range band environment. Okay. So now, if we were playing a range band environment on dollar index, what would I like to see? Obviously, let me just draw out these levels. So I'll bring this over here. Okay, so let's just focus on the mid-range, right? So we got the mid-range here, right? We've got the 25% range, and we got the range low. I'm going to get rid of all these drawings out there, and we'll make a bit of sense in just a moment. Then we've got an important key factor, which is this level here. That low that we talked about, that's 111.31. That's that there. And then let's do Monday's range. So Monday's range is here. So see Monday's, let's have a look. Monday's high is here. Yeah, Monday's high is here and Monday's low is high there. Cool. Let's have a look. Double check that. 16, 19. That's that. No. Yeah, so that's that there. And okay, so cool. So then the range band environment, what to do it? This is the Monday's low, and this is Monday's high. Right. So now if I remove everything else, now we've got this to focus on. This is Monday's range, okay? So let's do another color so don't get confused. This is Monday's range, and we're playing within the high, so the mid-range of the macro range and the range low. Can you see how this has been actually holding a support? All this support, well, a bit of a deviation, but it's holding. We haven't lost this level. Every time we come back down this level, we quickly reclaim it. So this is going to be a key area there, and then we've taken out, we've got to 25% of the range. We're above the 25% of the range. It looks like we're holding. I wouldn't mind us coming back. And this is a range bound environment on Monday's range. We broke up, and look what happened. On the Tuesday, we took out liquidity, right? On Monday's low, and then afterwards we took out liquidity on Monday's high, but shot up, found a reaction off there. Now we come back down to 25% of the range. Now a deeper pullback, I wouldn't mind a pullback coming all the way down to Monday's high, hold above it, reclaim the 25% of the range, look for the 111.3. Once we reclaim this, take out the highs over here. Well, will be what's capping the market. Find support of this, off we go, mid-range, 113.5, which is approximately what? 113.55, let's call it, yeah, 55 or something. And that'll be the reaction there. And here is where we'll find a reaction for a breakdown. Could be a retest, come into here, maybe something like that, and then we go back up to range high, to the next set of levels. And if we do something like that, it does end up fucking good for crypto, which is looking for short the market. You know what I'm saying? So I've been talking about dollar index going higher, you know, not calling the top. When price got down over here, when price was over here, and we started breaking down, and we lost this high over here. Well, it was a range. I said this range bound environment. To me, let me highlight this for you. This was a range bound environment right there. That was capping the market, and look what happened over there. You can see how that's reacting there across. So we had a deviation. We came back into the range, found a deviation there. One more retest, got capped on that high there, broke back down to range low from these lows here, found resistance, come into this area here, and that was support. Now at that time, what I was looking for is if this is really the top, we should find some resistance and breakdown. Lose this low there, find resistance, and then off we go. But the fact is, we came back into it. Once we pop back into this, show up into the range of the macro range, it was showing me that it was going to go back to here, at least to a minimum. Well, minimum was 25% of the range, and then going to the 111.3, and then back to range high, mid range, and that's what I'll be looking for. And it's just looking quite easy to play, if you ask me, you know. So dollar index is looking quite very bullish. Just the fact, and also you got BPS has gone up high. Interest rate isn't under control. If interest rate isn't under control, you can't expect a breakdown on dollar index. You couldn't expect 75 BPS was going to be good for us. How is that good for us? How's that good for anybody? Interest rate is still freaking high. You know what I'm saying? So that's dollar index for you. ES is an interesting one. ES was the funniest one in my opinion. ES did the craziest one. Let's bring up these levels up there, right? And it's just looking fucking shit. It come back to target. It actually hit target for me as well yesterday. So I was talking about when breakdown. This will be the target there, right? And yeah, it's just come down here. It's finding support. I mean, it's back into a range bound environment, which is from this high here to this low there. And look what's happened. We're back into the range. You gotta ask yourself, what the fuck are you doing back in the range? Find resistance. If you just pop up as a deep pullback, let's just say there's a deeper pullback off this high. So, you know what? Let me just try and get this a bit more. Let me put the 2 hour. Looks no. 3. A bit better. That's a bit better. That's a bit better. At least you can see the candles a bit more definitely, in a defined way. So, yes, that's the high there, and that's the low there. That was a range bound environment. If you don't believe me, if I do a Fibonacci there, let's see how the mid range is, and we can see. Yeah, you can see that. Look at the mid range. Perfect. Deviation, come back to 75%. Find support, pops up, comes back down. Support, pops up, comes back down. Support, pops up, and then bullishness takes out these highs, and then carries on up to mid range. So now you can already see, and look where the reaction is. The first reaction that happened was right at the point of the 25% of the range, 75% of the range. So if we have a reaction over here, then what happens is price is coming down there, where it's getting capped out. So we can see, so this area here, this area there from the high and the low, that's what's causing the problem there. Now it's acting as resistance. So this is a consolidation which actually finally pushed the market higher. That's the initial consolidation there that finally broke out these market structures over there. Come back down, find support all the way here, support, shank down, and now we find resistance. So what does that mean? If we're finding resistance, where are we going to go to? Back to mid-range, to $3,742. Lose this level, back to 2021's low, and take out liquidity, which is on this side, you'll see here. Just move my head, and you can see that. See the liquidity on the bottom? take those liquidity out. We'll see what happens. Do we actually close back into it and then play a bit more higher, or do we finally lose level and let's fucking send the market down a lot more lower, and then we start buying alts at a lower price and see Bitcoin goes to 12k, 10k, whatever the number is. And once we get to these levels, we'll let it establish a floor. When we establish a floor, trust me, we're gonna start buying coins on the DCC. The guys know what we're looking at, and they have a couple of examples of what we're looking for. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna be patient. There's no need to rush. There's no need to actually buy anything. I have no interest of buying anything and holding any altcoins. I think holding any altcoins is kind of a bit silly right now. You know, if you want to invest in either in your learning or invest in yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's the best investment you can do. The link. If you haven't got the link, let me send that to you now. I think it's only fair that I send that to you now. Give me a second. Where is it? 1 second there. I'm expecting a delivery as well. So give me a second, guys. Where is it? Sorry about this, lads. Alright, so I just forced the system to send you an email. So you should check it. You should get something now. Just double check your junk mail. Cool. Where's YouTube? Let me bring up YouTube again. There we go. Hey Jay, how's it going, Jay? It's been a while, hasn't it, man? 15k. I wouldn't mind 15k, man. But first thing is we need to lose lose 17k before we go to 15k. Oh, you got it now. Awesome, perfect. So yeah, so that's what's capping the market right here. This little area of consolidation is causing all that issue there, and you can clearly see these past price action. They have a story: support, lost it, resistance. Now if you want to take a short, if I want to take a short, how would I take a short? Let's go on the 15 minutes. Give you an example of how we do it, and look at that. Right, and it just so happens it's just reacted off here, of this. Yeah, this is all new price action now. So you see how it reacted off here. Resistance there. Now I can see price coming back into this area here. Let's have a look. This low here. Nah, about this high here. Maybe bounce off it here. Come back into this area. If it comes into this area and starts breaking down, then you know it's going to be a shorting opportunity. Break down over here. This is your confirmation. And play back down, take out this liquidity over here. Back down to mid-range. From the mid-range, see how we react. If we hold above it, cut the trade. Because we're going to go back up to 75%. But if we start losing it, off we go. 25% range low, and then, sorry, the 2021 range low, and then range low there. And that's how we're looking for ES. And now if this is happening for ES, if we're going down this way, you think Bitcoin's going to go up? I don't think so, mate. I don't think so. Doesn't look good. So Ethereum, let's look at Ethereum there. Alright, so Ethereum, we were talking about this in the group as well, just not too long ago. Looking for a reclaim on Monday's low. So what's happened with Ethereum? Just focusing on Monday. So this is the Monday's range, as you can see. Monday's low, Monday's high. Again, similar thing to Bitcoin. Had a range band environment over here, right? Sorry, from here to there, had a range band environment. Let me just highlight it properly, actually. Yep, had a range band environment right over here. And all we did, what happened is, we nuked up once, took out liquidity, came back down. Same thing as Bitcoin. It's exactly the same thing. So you could have caught the same thing on Bitcoin as well. Look at this. I think Bitcoin was much more clearer for me on that point to take a trade. but you could have done the same as well. See this high there? So once we did the FOMC and liquidity run, came back down, deviation of the mid-range, held back up, and now what you'll be looking for is, for example, is just, so see this higher here, find resistance. If you were to reclaim, right, hold above it, off we go, but we didn't do that. But this is why I didn't like Ethereum. Ethereum, I took the BTC trade because it was a little bit more clearer than Ethereum. But how would I enter the trade? You see this low here. Once we lose this low, this is your confirmation here. Stop loss there. Play it back to range low, and that would have been about what? It's a decent trade actually. You know, I ain't gonna lie to you. It's a decent trade. Still a decent trade. The short position. Let's say you entered around here, for example. Stop loss there. So a 1.8 R trade. So yeah, 1.8 R trade there, and then the thing is, and then even then, look at Bitcoin. Remember, Bitcoin was actually consolidating above the mid range, and then got below, grinding down, and then we shut down. Then we took out liquidity, but Ethereum was just a lot more heavier. We just lost the mid range, shortly found some resistance, and then lost it, and then found support on the 25% range, which is not a good thing. That was very heavy. And then what happened is we did a massive deviation. Well, we come back down, the massive deviation, and now we're back into this area. So if I were to look for longs, for example, let's look for some plans. Would it be worth checking the range of kill zone? Yeah, well, the KZ we talked about right now. The KZ is interesting. So I do think we're gonna dump. You know, I do think we're gonna because look at this push up. We'll talk about this in the group anyway. But I do think that we're gonna dump, because if London's made the low of the day, right, the high of the day, most likely you're gonna have New York's gonna have the low of the day around 3 o'clock UK time, 2 to 3 o'clock as well. You'll see the reaction of the move, right, when New York is open properly. So we'll see what happens there. But if I were to look at, daily open, where's the daily open at? So daily open is at 1 o'clock. It's right here. That was daily open. We'll draw a range by environment from here, from the low to this high here. You can see us come back down. This is the mid-range, resistance, deviation, come back up, take out the highs, find support, back to range high over here, and now break down. I can see us come back down. So like I said to you, if Bitcoin, right, loses that trend line, I see this is going to be a lot more heavier. So now if I want to look for longs, right, how would I look for longs? Let me just remove this. Right. So we know we got this. Let me do the 50 minutes. We know we got into Monday's low, right? If it was to be support, right, we should hold this low here, right? If we take out these highs here, come up, we start breaking market structure on the support. This is your confirmation, for example, because we take the market structure is still bullish. We take out the highs, and then we go back to 25% range, and then push it back to mid range. Push it back to mid range. That'll be your second target. See how we react. If we start to break down, you cut the trade, because we're going to come back down, most likely back to range low. But if we reclaim and hold above it, then I'll look to actually re-enter, right, or even compound position back to 75% range, back to range high. And we're literally just playing it ping pong as a fucking, just easy, as simple as that. That's what I'll be looking for in terms of bulls. We've got a deviation here of the range itself, got a deviation there, so we're still in there. Now, how would I look for shorts? If I were to look for shorts, right, I couldn't enter just in yet, right, because we are in a range bound environment that's holding a support. So let's do this. So this is the trend line here, and Ed did it from here as well. You can use that. Probably this one. Yeah, I'll probably use this one. No, like that. Yeah, I'll probably use it like that. That's it. And you got a trend line. This is a bullish trend line over here, right? So what tends to happen is, let it do its thing. It will grind up. It may grind up all the way to mid range. The moment we lose the trend line, so let's just say whatever it is, lose the trend line, finds bearish thingy. Does I can't even speak properly today. What the fuck is going on, man? So you got a trend line here, and grinds up. The moment you start losing the trend line, right, breaks it, finds resistance, does bearish market structure, then you're looking for the short. back down, right? So it's a bit of a tricky one though compared to Bitcoin, because what I'm looking at, you see this area here, this was the original consolidation that we were looking at yesterday, right? I mean, I can see us coming back into this area though. I can see us coming, pushing it back into this area here, to be honest. And then from there, we'll see what happens if you step into this area. Now, if you want to play a short-term trade, you can step into this area and then play it back to mid-range, squeeze into this area there, right, into these highs over there, and then we'll see what happens. But EBTC is looking shit though, you know, I ain't gonna lie to you. EBTC is broken. This is where I'm thinking that like it's gonna be short-lived, you know. We'll talk about EBTC in a bit, but I think it's gonna be short-lived. I don't think it's gonna go a lot more higher. The chances of going to to range higher back up there and breaking these prices are quite slim though, in my opinion. It's quite slim, but it literally is. We've got to wait to see how we come back into this area. I mean, look, let's get the trend line back up. Trend line back up. Let's focus on one trend line. Alright then, so I want to see this come back down, hold above it, market structure breaks, enter in. We're holding the trend line back to 25% of the range, and then squeezing it back to the mid range. And then from there, yeah, it literally is back to range high if we reclaim that bullish plan there. Bearish plan really, right? For me, if he does something like this, let's have a look. Let me go on the 1 hour. Sorry about this, guys. You see this 1440 level? That's the previous all-time high. We've lost that level there. We're finding resistance off this, no, from this low here. Finding resistance off there, and you can see market structures on the bearish side. Low, that's the high, lower low, lower high, lower low. I mean, where's the lower high that it will be? Do we do a lower high here, for example, and then come back down? We don't know. We'll have to see how it is. It's a bit of a nasty grind, but oh yeah, the key thing is that now, do you remember we talked about this range band environment? So we found support, right? Now for me to enter a trade of a short, for confirmation, because this is, do you remember I was saying this on Monday? This is a dead man zone between Monday's, this is on Tuesday. Monday's low to this range high. It's a dead man zone. I wouldn't want to take longs and shorts in this area until, if we reclaim, we go back up to mid range to range high. But if he does this thing, comes back into the mid range and then starts breaking down, this will be my confirmation for me to take a short right here. And then we'd start filling out the easy inefficiency there. Target 1, I'd say. Let's draw this properly. So price can come back down, finds resistance, and then I'll say my first target will be here. It's approximately the mid range. That'll be it. Trigger over here, target 1, and then we see how we react. Break down, back to target 2, and that's it. And then all you're doing is playing back in this range band environment here. Remember, when it comes to this area, which is approximately the mid range between these highs and this low here, once it comes into this area there, expect a bounce, right? If it comes into this area, finds resistance, and then breaks down, and then does something like that, I can compound my position, going back down to range low, right? So we'll come back into this area. It's really, really key. Once we lose this level here, right, then all gates are open to go take out liquidity over here. Oops, move my head. Liquidity over there on the wick, coming back to 760, and that's it. It looks fucking ugly though, if you ask me. Really, really fucking ugly. Below the monthly open, clearly. Yeah, below the monthly open, clearly doesn't look fucking good. That's the monthly open right here. Same with Bitcoin. Bitcoin was below the monthly open right there. So all or nothing though, to be honest. All or nothing. ETH does look really, really shit. Really, 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 really shit, if you ask me. Look at that. I'm still in the short on this, on ETH, to be honest. Right, I've still got a really nice short on that one. I look to compound it if it sets up. But if I draw the 4 hours, and we talked about this before. Low to high, high to low, low to high, high to where we're going now, low. We're losing the mid-range. We find some resistance on this area here, for example. So if price comes back up, finds resistance, break down over here, well, break down this, and then that's your confirmation. Take a short, put a stop loss over here, bring it back down to target 1, and then to this area, that'll be target 2, and then we squeeze down to target 3. And that's it. And that's EPDC. And if EPDC is doing that, trust me, the fucking market's going to collapse quite heavily. You can't tell me dollar index is bearish, and you can't tell me that the crypto market is bullish. You can't say that. There's nothing here that shows that it's bullish. None of it showed me bullishness. I mean, if anyone is bullish, I think of like right now going up higher prices, please say so, and then maybe I'm missing something, because I like to be wrong on this one, but it doesn't look fucking good though. I think it's gonna get a lot worse than what it is. Morning, Steve time. No, sorry, Steve Tien and Bolwinder. How you doing, brother? So it just doesn't look fucking good. It just looks sick. I should take a short though. It looks really, really good though. I ain't gonna lie to you. This looks like a nice fucking short day. Oh, lower time. Yeah, lower time frame bullish. Lower time frame bullish, but I think we turn around quite soon though. I don't think we're gonna last for long. I mean, this just doesn't look good there. Look at this, man. How the fuck have we? Don't get me wrong. When we find support here and we're coming up there, I was looking for potential, taking out these liquidity there, filling out these inefficiencies right here, right around this area. This is where I would have liked it. For me to get like a beautiful short, I was looking for this area here to come into this area there. That's what I was looking for. But then the fact when we lost this level there, I couldn't even look at this. We have to start playing it within from here to here, from the high to the 25 to range low, and that's where we are now. So market's a shit. It's a shit bag right now. It really is terrible, if you ask me. Really, really terrible. So there's nothing to really do anything. I mean, if you want, someone asked about Solana, let's have a look at Solana. Solana just looks like another bag of shit, really, as well. I mean, look, range band environment from the high to low. This is the range band environment over here, and what's happened is this: price got up from the initial consolidation. This is the consolidation over here. Price shot up, came back down, find some support. Minor weak. This is a weak support there, because look at the bounce on that. Come back into the range, and all we did, we come back into the range, and we're just grinding in that range. So to me, we're coming back to this range low. We'll have to come back to this range low, because not only did we lose this trend line, not only are we in this range, we lost the trend line as well. So I'll show you. See that trend line there? It's just lost it completely, and then we're also at below the mid range. Low, I think. So if you want to take a stop loss, right? If you want to take a trade, you stop loss. You're wrong here, because if we start reclaiming, holding above it, right, and we most likely will take out the highs over there. But if you want confirmation, confirmation is here. So you see this low here, right? All we need to do now is come back down, find resistance, break down, and that will be this will be your confirmation right here. This is your confirmation, because this is a range band environment from that high to this low. This is all a range band environment. You see how price has been capped in this area. We had a short burst of movement up above there, and that's just a deviation. Once we get below here, below the range low, back to the $26 marker, take out liquidity over here, lose this level there, and then let's go back down to range low, which is about $19. How would I get bullish? I mean, I can't get bullish anytime soon until, let me just remove that. So we've got this until we do something like this. Come back up, hold it, reclaim the mid-range, show me like that. Then I can say I get bullish on this, taking out these liquidity there, back into the 25% of the range, and we'll see how we react there. And that's the only way for me to get bullish on Solana. Until then, it doesn't look fucking good. So if I were to on a lower time frame, this is the 4 hours, let's go on the 1 hour, see what's up. So what have we got here? Let's look at some SRs actually. Some SRs are always nice. So you got this SR here. That's holding us support, and this is holding us resistance. Okay, approximately the mid range is about here, and you can see it's all choppy there. So if I wanted to play a shorter time, let's do this. Let's do this. There we go. You guys can see it. So we've got this SR here. No, this SR here. support, and we've got this SR there, there's resistance, and we've got approximately the mid-range is about here. Okay, that's the mid-range. So if I want to be bullish, right, short term, again, it looks like BTC, to be honest. It looks like BTC. Hold this area here, take out this high there, then I can start taking a trade back up to range high. Right, and then from there, see what happens if we actually reclaim and go up high to $34, take out liquidity there, and that's the mid-range. This is the mid-range, so I'm expecting a breakdown over here as well. So, but if we start breaking down, take a short back down to mid-range, lose this level, and then we go back down to range low. So price is literally capped in this area here. So if we want to do this, right, I'll show you something. The guys will actually understand what I'm talking about from the DCC. See this area consolidation? That's holding a support. So when price grinded up here, support, 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 support. All this is support. We took out this the stop loss over there, and now if you want confirmation, right? This is your confirmation. So let it do its thing, right? If it wants to come back down there, because we can find support and then still play this play back up, it's not a problem. But the moment we get back below here, finds resistance, then you know that's your confirmation. Start playing lower, back down to 25% of the range, and then range low. All right, and that's it. That's Solana there. Morning, Vegeta. How you doing? You're flying out tomorrow, is it? But look, shit. Can we see NASDAQ? Let's have a look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ is ES 100. No, not ES. US 100. Ah, fuck off. That's fucking horrible. Look at that. Look at the weakness in NASDAQ. That range here, that's 2021's low, 2021's high. Mid-range, right? Come to the 25% range. We couldn't even, there's no strength to go to range high. That's how exhausted it is. It's so fucking exhausted, man. Look at this. It's over exhausted there. I mean, if we were to do a trend line, I mean, where can we go? I wouldn't be surprised if we come into this area here, though, to be honest, which comes into. No, we'll do that. But at least they're there. At least the very minimum. Once we lose this low here, this is just, it looks fucking exhausted. I ain't gonna lie to you. So focusing at level to level. See this low here. This is what's capping. That's what's was holding the support in the market there, right? Once we lose this low here, this is the low that I'm looking at. Once we lose this low here, right? Breakdown. That's confirmation. I need to take out this liquidity there, and then come into this area here. So let's just draw this out properly. So we've got liquidity right here. Is that double bottom? No, it's not. It's not. Liquidity here. We can play it back into range low over here. Once we lose this, then we start looking to come back into this area here. And that's where I see that the next target is. Come back into this area, and that's shanked down. I mean, how much of a loss is that, though, to be honest, from there? From the high to where we are right now. I mean, so far it's done 33%, 34%. Coming to this area is 41%. 41%. 41% drop, fucking hell. I mean, from here to there, what was the drop there? Because this was a very sudden one. That's 31%. 32%. All these drops here hasn't been that strong. I mean, they're very strong though, but 24%, 23%. I mean, this is going to get uglier. It's going to get really, really ugly. So if we don't reclaim this range low, that 12k level, right? 12.2k. Doesn't look good. We have to reclaim this for me to say, yeah, fill out that gap there, come back into the 25% range. Once we break this high there, breaking market structure, then we can say, yeah, that's bullish there, because that's the high, that's the lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. And then now we're seeing, are we going to make the lower low? If we take out this low, that'll be the lower low. So quite important though to see what happens. I mean, I could be well wrong. We could hold this low here, which is not a problem. Once we reclaim this, right, then we can start saying, yeah, we're playing up higher prices and whatnot, filling out these gaps there. See if we can actually take out this high there. But until then, We're at support, so it's all good there for now. But even ES doesn't look great. If you look at ES, same thing as well. So that's the high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Now the question is, are we making the lower low? I mean, oh no, sorry, that's not a lower. It's a breaking market structure. I agree that's a breaking market structure, but the fact that we came back there, starting losing this low here, we come into this area, lose this low there, it's just not very looking fucking pretty. Have to reclaim this at least, then we start looking at for higher prices. Only reason I'm looking for bearishness is dollar. Dollar is just too fucking powerful, too fucking strong. And look what dollar's doing. It's bounced off that trend line on the 1 hour. Let's have a look. This trend line I've got over here, it's a clean trend line, and the fact that we're getting above this trend line and holding, making new highs as well, new highs there. So the fact that we're holding above it, it's just looking to go fucking to range high, so mid range. I mean, if we can get back into this trend line, then yeah, let's go back into here, right, and then squeeze into this area at least to fill out this inefficiency there, and that'll be 108, and that's range low. Then we'll see what happens next. Do we lose it and go down back here, maybe reclaim and whatever, or do we lose it? Come back here and then lose this level there, and off we go, and then we can start playing it back down. But it just doesn't look good, in all honesty. Just doesn't look fucking good. Hanging on a cliff, it is concerning. US 100 concerning for sure, 100%. Everything's looking, even the Dow is US 30, right? And look where the Dow is. Same situation as ES, right? I've done Monday's low, 2021's low, 2021's high. Took out liquidity there. I mean, we found support off there. We're coming back. See, a deviation of the mid range. We're coming back into the range low, and the fact that we're coming back to the range low, both ES and the Dow is coming back to range low of 2021's. It's only the NASDAQ is the weakest one that's holding below it. So we're gonna see how we react at range low, because all we need is just 2 of them out of the 3 to actually give us some support. So if the ES and the Dow is doing something like this, then we know we can actually long, we can do a strong long. It just so happens that NASDAQ is actually lagging behind, and so it's just showing me more weakness, but it gives me more power, more push from the on the NASDAQ to go up higher. So we just have to watch it out level to level. Yep, I think so too. 120 is most likely to come in place as well. How long would it take? It could take a couple of months, maybe a year, but it doesn't look fucking good. Macro outlook is concerning, to be honest. Yep. There's no argument for bullishness. There's none whatsoever. It's gonna be a nasty play, and I don't see it being any better anytime soon. I mean, if you look at the TRJ commodity index. Commodity index is breaking down, right? It's all good. I mean, it's due to come back down at least minimum up here, and I'd like to see us come back into this area there, and at least that will actually bring down like the interest rate a little bit. But I still think it's quite horrible. It just so happened that right now we're playing in from see this low over here, that the SR there, and then we got this here. That's where we're playing at. So I want to see us lose this area here and come back down, and then we have some room to actually breathe. But it doesn't look fucking good though. Dollar index is looking crap. You got the Dow and the ES is coming to macro support soon, but it's still got more downsides before it comes into macro support. Bearish bias could be, yeah, it could be 1 or 2 years, to be honest. It really could be just like the 2008. It's like every crash it gets horrible. The 2008 was the last one. 2020 we had a crash, but it wasn't that strong of a crash, and the government was printing like all across the world. They were printing money to support the economy, and that was a bad sign. They were giving furlough money too easily. They were giving like business loans out too easily, and we're all paying the price now because the government was stupid about it. So, I mean, look, I had friends who works for JLR, Jaguar Land Rover, and I've got friends with yeah, nice enough to learn. Yeah, definitely. Bear market is when you gotta learn. You gotta spend your time on learning, and that's what I did in 2008. You spent all that time in 2008, 2009, 2020 to learn. Then comes to 2020, 2021, we just play the market on the upside. It was quite easy then, But what was I saying? Yeah, I got some friends in the JLR, Jaguar Land Rover, and they were put on furlough for like 9 months, and they were chilling at home, getting paid full time. I think 80% on the income, because I was self-employed at the time. And I was like, rah. I was thinking to myself, rah, like you are actually chilling at home and getting a really good income. I've got to go out and fucking grind. That's not fucking fair. But it is what it is, though. But I do think that it's overdue for a nasty crash. Just think about the billions of dollars they printed during COVID to support the economy. Everything was closed. Well, as we know, I mean, this is going to be controversial, but COVID is a bunch of bullshit, really, if you think about it. Like they did a whole lockdown, and we still got COVID, and we're still surviving. Before it was mask this, mask that, and that was hand sanitizer. No one gives a flying shit about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I mean, some people's gonna say, "Oh yeah, you can't say that." I had COVID too, but you know, don't get me wrong. There has been a lot of people who actually didn't survive COVID, and even myself actually. I've got family members who actually did pass away from COVID, but it wasn't sufficient to give a huge lockdown and print money. It didn't give us a reason to do that, you know? I mean, like, where's all the money that we pay for taxes, you know what I'm saying? Like, so many people pay 20% tax, 50% tax, and whatever. What happened to that? So you were using that money to pay people. Why was companies paying? Just go to fucking work, man. Wear your fucking mask and go to work, man. But anyway, what can I say? Christian saying, I'm fine, I'm alright. Could you please share your perspective on Ethereum? And if you did, I already did so. You can just rewind it back. Should have been like 20 minutes ago, half an hour ago? But you would see, I did Bitcoin, and after Bitcoin, I did Ethereum. Range Rover Dream, yeah, it's a nice car. You know what it is? I tell you something. I've driven a Range Rover when I was in Dubai. It's a nice car. It's a very nice car. It's beautiful to look at. Don't get me wrong. But I just feel like it's a bit shit though. It's very plasticky, you know. For like my dad was a. Oh, 1 second, I got a delivery. I gotta open this up. 1 second, guys. Oh, 1 minute. Awesome, man. Sorry about that. Yeah, smash the likes, man. Show me some love there. What's going on, Judd? How you doing? Yeah, everyone thinks trading is easy. You earn money by sitting at home, but less they know. We get fucked mentally more than they do. Like, yeah, 100%, man. It's not so easy, man. Trading is not easy, but it's possible. Really and truly, right? You know what you have to remember, right? This is let me just chat to you guys, right? So when it comes to trading, a lot of us, including myself, I'm talking about my own personal experience when I was in 2017. You know, when you're making money on the bull run, it's very easy to make money, but the question is, can you maintain that money, and are you smart enough to actually play the game as it comes? So What the fuck? Didn't even light up properly. Very easy, right? To make money on the upside. But how good are you when it comes to actually, cutting, changing bias? Because we talked about bias in the group yesterday, right? And having a bias, right, is an important thing. When you got macro levels, right? Macro levels that we're finding resistance, you've got to switch your bias. The lower time frame may be bullish, right? And your higher time frame may be bearish. But do not mix those two levels. Don't mix them ever at all. Because when you mix them, that's where you get suckered into it. Because that's what happens with a lot of people in CT. CT was so bullish, right? When we got to the Bitcoin got to 69k. And if you ask me, what is the macro level? The macro level for BTC, I'll just show you briefly, was this. I'll show you that. What the fuck? Ah, there we go. Was this? Let me delete all this. This was the macro level. Right, we got macro low over here, macro high over here, macro high, and we got the mid range, right? This was the macro level. Now, how many of us, right, actually got suckered into it? That's the macro level. Everyone's seeing that. Oh yeah, on the daily, it seems very sensible. But if you go on the quarterly, right, it was right here. This quarterly level, let me show you. This quarterly level was the key. We couldn't break above it. So on the quarterly level, that's the high, and that's causing resistance. See, resistance over here, resistance over here, right? Go on the monthly. How did it look like on the monthly? Macro level still stands. See that? It's March's high that was causing that problem. Even the macro level resistance. Come in December, you had to flip bearishness. You couldn't be bullish. You can't, because the macro key level was at play. This had to be broke. We had to if we had a candle like this, then happy days. Then we can look for a retest or even come up to there and reclaim and go up there. We don't know. But the macro level was the thing that was showing us that this was the bearishness, right? That's the week. That's the monthly. Let's look at the weekly. The weekly is where it changes. Now the weekly, people got suckered into it. You see how all these little candles there? Yeah, it looks all good and happy days and whatever. So, but we got these levels now. Now we start playing macro level, we're playing weekly levels. We took out that weekly high candle there, right, which was capping the market, but we closed within it. So that already on a weekly could have said to you, all right, short term to here. If we get back below the range low, back down, we play back down. You see what happened there? And if you go on the daily, then the daily even shows you more bullishness. You're like, yo, we're going to go a lot more higher. Look at this. Daily was like, yeah, all we did, right? Let me just close this up. I know what I'm looking at. Let me just make this bigger. The daily, this is the March's high. And then you're looking at this level here. That's not a clean smash. That's not a clean smash. So the daily, okay, even if you want to go to the daily, you say, yeah, we're bullish, right? On the first day was bullish, second day was bullish, the third day you couldn't be bullish because what happened? We closed within that macro high, well, within the weekly high. So you had 3 days to change perspective. All right, then you didn't want to change perspective on the third day. So you got 4th day, 5th day, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. On your 9th day, once we close here on the 9th day, then what we're looking for? Any resistance would be broken down. Lose this low here, off we go. So the macro. So you can't mix your macro. You can't mix your bias. We talked about bias yesterday. The guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Once you've got your bias, you need, and we'll do, and that's the thing is we'll do a session on Bitcoin as well. But I'm giving you a little bit of a teaser here. But once you got your macro views, you always got to keep that in line. That's why I have 3 different. I like to have 3 charts on Ethereum, 3 charts on Bitcoin, and then one for macro, one for my lower time frame, and one for like kind of a bit of a mixture, right? Or some bullshit kind of stuff that I play around with. And that way I can actually start looking at things of how I play. So if I'm looking, for example, if I'm looking at lower time frame perspective, right? I'm looking over here, but if I go to a macro chart, I have this key level here that's always showing me something. I always flick back and forth every day. And that way, so I don't miss the opportunity. I don't miss playing the market as it is. Because remember, price is always in a goddamn range. I can't stress that anymore. If you take any alpha from me, take this one up. Price is always in a range. It's always in a range. We have deviations. Once we come back into a range, then you play it back down. So don't mix that up, guys, man. You really can't do that. And like, you know, when you play the game, right, it's easy to play the game when it's going up, but it's harder to play the game going down. Because why? You're so fixated on going up higher prices. I'm still getting DMs. People asking me, are we going to get an all-time high this year? That's how people is so suckered into the idea of all-time high. It's always about that. They want more. But what they don't understand is that, okay, you can play the market up, but you can always play the market down. You just got to be smart about it. And the best way to learn is in the bear market. Why? Because the bear market is what you got nothing to do but sit down and watch everything collapse. And then it's up to you to use that time to make the most of it so you can actually get better. So when it comes into the bull market, not only are you getting better at trading, right? Even if you got a small account of like $100, for example, but you built it up to like $5,000 over the next 2 years, for example. It may not sound like a lot, but you done from $100 to $5,000 during the bear market. Then in $5,000 in the bear market, in the bull market, you now have an opportunity to play, compared to actually putting $100 now and keep longing and keep losing it every single time. Trust me, I've been in the same position as you have. I did the same thing back in 2018. 2018, I kept putting $100, $200, £200, £200, kept losing. I was studying and I kept losing. Because why? I couldn't get my head around the idea of actually flipping a bias. The bias is the key. If you don't have a bias, you're gonna struggle. Price tells you a story. You just need to read that story. That's what it is. Price was telling us a story here. Price was telling us, I'm gonna fuck you up over here. I'm gonna tease everyone over here by an all-time high, new all-time high. Get the 69k, and it's funny. 69k was all-time high. 69. Like, how many simps on Twitter was talking about 69, 20, 420, 69, 420, 69? Bro, shut the fuck up. You ain't getting no girls. What are you talking about, 69? But if you've never done a 69 in your life and you're talking about 69, shut the fuck up. But you can't let people sucker you in the idea. You yourself, right, you are behind the desk, you are behind your computer, you are behind your own money. It's not the influencers on Twitter or YouTube, it's you. Now you've got to actually take control of that. Don't look, all these Irene Dow, whatever her name is, right? She made a fucking Dow in it when she literally just fucking took a bunch of pictures of her past pictures she had on her phone, I'm guessing, and literally got someone to do an NFT, and bear months were buying that for a couple of ETH. And ETH was like $2,000-3,000 at the time. You're telling me a picture's worth $9,000? Bro, pussy's worth more than that, man. Less than that. And you're telling me that it's $9,000 for a picture? That's fucking stupid, man. It's really, really dumb. I mean, I'm just ranting here a little bit, but I'm going to be honest about that. It was just so stupid. And then there was a bunch of girls as well. Like, there's a bunch of girls who were taking advantage of that. Don't let women take you down. Don't ever let a woman bring you down and make her feel better. You are the king. She's trying to be a queen. We treat women who are queens who are worth being a queen. Not fucking nobodies on the fucking internet, man. Fuck these people, man. Because they're not there. They're not here. Trust me. Where are they now? They're certainly not anywhere near. So they're fucking just, they're in the same position as we all are. Just like wanting wanting the market to go up. So just be smart, man. Just be smart. Think for yourself. That's what you got to do. Think for yourself. Learn how to trade, and you will actually reap the reward. Because coming the next bull run in 2024, when we have the next halving, I think it's in May. You know how to play the game. You know you got 6 months to a year to actually maximize that. And as you maximize that, you're taking profits. The mistakes you've taken this time, the mistakes you've done this time, learn from your mistakes and don't repeat the same thing over and over again. Because the worst people that I've noticed, I've seen other guys who lost in 2017, come in 2021, lost again. And then I'm thinking to myself, in 2024, right, when we go to a bull run in 2024, 2025, are you going to lose it again? Because there's a repetitive pattern. You've got to start making the changes that you've got to do now. Because time is going by. We may think May 2024 is in about less than 2 years. It may be less than 2 years, but trust me, that will go quick. And if you can't change that mentality and you can't master your psychology, you're gonna struggle. And I don't want that for anyone. Yeah, Vegeta says mental game is harder than the execution. So let's have a look at Sol. So Sol is pushing up. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. Let me just bring this up. Let's bring up my levels. Let's go on the 1 hour. So let's see. So that's that there. BTC. Breaking down. Finding some sort of resistance there on the 1 hour. Remove this. Too many lines. Keep it nice and simple. Alright, so let's have a look at that BTC's over here. Nothing much has happened on BTC. Just consolidating right over here. So if we were to lose this low here, breakdown, then I can say, yeah, we'll go back down to here, and then we'll see how we react. If we hold above it, go back up, or if we lose it, let's play it back down to this low. It'll be July's low. Sorry, July's low. And then from there, or this is another range bound environment. So right here, price is capped within here. So if you actually break up and hold above it, then we go to 25% range. From 25%, let's squeeze into range high. So that's that. So nothing much to say on ETH, BTC. Sorry, on BTC, Ethereum. So Ethereum is taking this high here. Market structure still looking bullish because we're taking out these highs over there. See this high here. So now this is what's capping the market there. This is what's holding the market here. So again, same thing, just range bound. Nothing to say. Coming back into this area here, off here. See how we react on the range low. Again, lose this level, back to range Monday. See how we hold above. You step back in. That's all good. Then we can look for longs. If we start breaking down, we need to start flipping bias to go down for lows. If we reclaim, I'd say 25% range. From the 25% range, go back to range mid range. But Solana, let's have a look at Solana. Solana, we said the range bound environment was here. Do we see the range bound? Let's go on the 1 hour. That's it. That's the low. That's the high. Little range bound. Let's have a look. Minutes. Nothing too special though, because what's happening is, you see this high here? It's a deviation there. Resistance, deviation. Now, and you push back up, we can go back down lower. So same thing, nothing too special there. Drop it down to 5. Let's have a look. So where do we find resistance? Off this area here. So you see this candle here? Just right here. That's where we find resistance. So to me, it's resistance breaking down back into this area here. At least to retest mid-range. From the mid-range, we'll see what happens. We hold above it, come back up, reclaim this area, and then we can go back up. But if we start losing this level, let's lose this level back down to 25% of range, get a reaction from there, and then see if we can get back down to range low. So nothing for me to long on Solana in all honesty. It's just going to be a bit of a choppy play. This is bearish right here. This candle was bearish there, so just trying to have a look. If I go back, let's have a look. 1 second there. Even the 2 hours is looking like it's going to turn over, to be honest, as well. On the 1 hour, yeah, just can't reclaim it. Yeah, plans for souls there, but nothing for me to take any trade at the moment. I need a bit more of a clearer play. So what I like to see is either this come back and hold above. If it holds the mid range, then I can so start playing for higher prices. But the fact that it's floating, it's literally floating in this area here. I don't like that so much. It's going to consolidate here a little bit longer, and I think during the New York, that's when we find out a bit more of a play. 12, nearly 12 o'clock, so we got New York zones coming up as well, so we'll see what happens. But doesn't look good though. XRP, let's have XRP. I mean, XRP looks alright actually, to be honest. Back into this range over here. Yeah. So look, how does that work out? So that's the range band environment there. See the low, the high, mid range over here, deviation, find resistance and broke down. So that's what. Back up. Right, so now I mean, as long as it holds this, right? For me to look for a long to 45 cents, right? Let it do its thing. Come back down. Reclaims and hold above this. I can look for an entry to go back to 25% range, 75% range. From there, look to range high. And that'll be 45 cents. And that's what I'll be looking for a long on XRP. If I were looking for a short on XRP, it'll be something like this. My confirmation. Fill out all this, then this will be a target over here. Target 1 there, and then target 2. See how we get. React, break down, back to target 3, and that'll be it. And that'll be the trade for XRP. So nothing is clear for me to take a trade. That in 10 minutes, the candle looks like it's going to close above this high there. So XRP could go down. Talked about dollar index and everything else looking quite bad. ETH looking shit anyway, and I think ETH is going to hit a lot lower. So we'll see what happens there. So I want to see how we react though, because this is a range band environment, right? On ETH, right? So we've got this high here to this low here. That's the range band environment. That's where price is capped at the moment. Question is, do we come back up and hold it? And that will give me an indication for higher prices with Ethereum. Ethereum's going to do well, at least to push up into mid-range, squeeze into this area here. That's target 2. See what happens there. Do we do this, something like this, come back down, and then break down back into the mid-range, sorry, the range itself, step back into it, back into range low, lose the level, off we go. So gotta keep an eye on it there. See what happens though. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? You're right. So he's saying I'm learning to trade in a bear market and find it easier to spot shorts than longs. To be honest, true. Like it was the same for me. So like I love shorts. Shorts is a lot more easy because I was, you know when you start trading in the bear market, that's the easiest one. So because your eyes are so used to bear market, so and bear market lasts longer than the bull market. The bull market is very short lived. I mean, what the bull market lasts for a year. Bear market happened for like 2-3 years, 2.5 years at least. 420 all time high. We'll see what happens in it. Thank you so much, Cruz. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, Piotr understands this. You kept putting 200 and then quit in 200, quit, lost all then, and then again and again. Same now, watching and learning. Yeah, just take your time, brother. Just take your time. You know, like there's no need to actually rush into actually putting money into something that's gonna actually go down. I'll take care, Cruz. I'll speak to you soon, bud. I'll go. Let's see. Algo's come pushing up there. So we're going to come to an area of resistance here. So this has been fucking out. What's going on with Algo? The fuck is this happening on Algo? Alright, so let's have a look. Alright, so we've got a range band environment there now. Yeah. Will I take a long? No, not necessarily. Why? Because we're coming to range high. This is range high. We're just over here. We're taking out liquidity there, right, which is all good. Now I want to see how we react in this area here. Do we reclaim and hold above it? If we do something like this, then we can say, yeah, let's long it to higher prices. And where would our targets would be? Let's have a look. So then we're stepping into a new range, which would be this low here to this high here. That's where the range is. The mid range will be around here, right? So then what I'll be looking for is something like this. So let it do its thing, right? If it breaks down, let you go back down 25% range and come back into this range low here, because we're focusing on this area here now, okay? If we hold above it, play back up, and we see how it goes. But ideally, because with prices taking out these highs here, I wouldn't be starting looking for longs just yet, right? Why? Because we're at range high. If the market is bearish, right, what could happen is price come back up and finds a resistance and breakdown. It's very, very possible. Why? Because if you look, oops, fuck off. Look at this. Mid-range is about here, about there. If you look here, this is an area of consolidation right over here. So I could see price coming into the area there. Price can pop into this area here and then break down. Once it breaks down, you know that was your deviation. Your stop loss will be there. I've put hard stop over here, right? Playing it back down to 75% range. Feel like all this in the finish. See this fast move? Don't get suckered into it. Don't get suckered into a fast move down. Fast move up. it is bear market. So just be careful, right? And then from there back into this area. Once we lose this, it's a mid range. And you know you got the mid range and see how we react. If we hold above it, happy days. We go back into this area, break down 25%, and then range low. Take out liquidity over here. Batteries died on me. Fucking hell. Never mind. So that's what it is. Let's just say now, right? Let's just say now that price doesn't come to range high, and instead decides to break down on itself. How do we take a short if we want to take a short, right? Well, as we can see, you see this high here. We talked about macro, right? Remember that? Look at this high there. Get down below there, breaks down. That will be my short, right? I can actually enter. Well, this is my confirmation for me to enter. You can enter here aggressively, but I would have to say stop loss. Keep it a little bit high. You can keep it here. That's your validation there. I mean, that's where your stop loss will be because it's a range bound environment. But that's really, really tight if you ask me. I'll probably keep it a little bit more wide over here, just to give a bit of breathing space. Because if you start holding it and reclaiming it, then we can see how we react off here. If we come back down, start breaking down, right, and get back below here, then I can bring my stop loss from there down to here, right? That's how I keep it wide. I just give you a bit of breathing space there, and you keep your risk the same. Okay, let me hide this up. Yeah, keep the risk the same, and then we're looking for this. So once we break down the 25% range, you know that's your confirmation, absolute confirmation to go back down to range low. You see this move here, this fast move. How many people will look at for longs? So many people look for longs. Everyone will start looking for longs. Why? Because price just shut up and you want to catch that. You know, in the bull market, it's very normal to actually want to catch the trade. So if you're spot buying, yeah, fuck it. If this was a bull market, fuck it. Let's buy here and go up for higher prices. Let's go to like 50 cents or whatever. But this is bear market still. So you don't want to be catching these fast movement. Look at Luna C. LUNC. Same thing. I don't want to answer this right now. How do I actually... I don't want to decline it. 1 second. Sorry, he's going to have to quit. And look what's happening right now. We're getting below it. It's not a long for me. Sorry about this. Let me get rid of... There you go. It stopped. Yeah. Nah, it's not girlfriend, man. It's a freaking it's one of the builders, isn't it, for my mom? But I'll speak to him because I'm gonna. Battery must have hit 5%. Bro, Justin, you're gonna fuck me up like that? What a geezer! Look what's happened now. We're finding breakdown right there, and that's on the 4 hours. So if I were to go down on the 1 hour, look at it. It still looks fucking shit. You can't. We couldn't actually think it. Oh, okay. Give me a second, alright? Let me find my mom. Give me a second. Sorry, guys. Hello, I think so cafe mo mama kore, Feli kore ki so ben the roof is here. Yeah. How far are you? Okay, that's fine. So, but j'ai mon téléphone Ziad because the papa took mon téléphone. Yeah, bon. Okay. Allez. Okay, let them know. Alright. Allez, c'est allez. One second, guys. Alright, cool. That's it. Good. Yeah, my mom. Again, my mom. Sometimes sometimes I just wanna just disappear a little bit, you know, you know what I mean? Like, just like, guys, please leave me alone a little bit. I just want like a day of peace, you know. But that's mom's for you. But anyway, bless her soul, my mom. But yeah, so you see what's happening now? We've got 15 minutes, right? So we've got our levels there, and what's happened is, you can look at it this way. Actually, let's do it. You see this consolidation right here? All that with a stop run there, deviation, come back down, one more stop run. Once we break below here, this is your confirmation. Off you go. Let's break back down. This fid move over here, I don't like this fid move. It's a very good opportunity to short. It's a very good opportunity to short there. So to me, nothing. Look at no, it's not worth actually fucking look. It's just a fucking stop run. If it was bullish, why are we going back down? You know, why are we having just a wick there? So it's a shorting opportunity there. Like I said, you got your stop losses where you can actually place. You can put a hard stop above the range itself, and we play from there, level to level. Algo's an easy play to play. I missed out on that one. I should have done that, but never mind. Fuck it. But I mean, it's still a valid trade. Let's go to 5 minutes, 15. See what's happening. Yeah. Look. Come on, guys. Look at that. Come on, guys. That is clear as freaking daylight. You see how that's capped the market there? We couldn't even close above it. That's fucking not good. So, bearish there in my opinion. Just like everything else. Nothing to get excited, guys. Bull market will get excited. Let's look at the 1 minute, 5 minutes. Let's see. Same thing. I mean, 5 minutes, it just looked like that's a deviation. On the 1 minute, let's have a look. I mean, can't zoom out anymore, but never mind. So let's see. I think price will come back up. Well, looks like that's coming to this area here. See if we get a reaction there. If it comes up and holds above it and come back into here, breaks down, I can enter a trade here, a short here. I'll keep my stop loss over here above the range high, and once we get below this area there, I can compound my position and bring my stop loss there. So yeah, I wouldn't enter in just yet myself personally. I'll just wait a little bit longer. Confirmation will be below the 75% range. Alright guys, awesome. Any questions? Group team knows the feeling. Bless her. Well, yeah, man. Look at that. 15 minutes is completely. It's come back down now. See the fin move? It's not worth actually taking a trade on a long. I mean, if you want further confirmation, look at this. Let it do its thing. I expect a bounce off here, maybe up to here, lose this level, mid range, 75, and then back down to lower. Bear market, it's easy to play. Well, not easy to play. Bear market, it's nice to play because when you see fast movement up, then you're getting ready to to trigger your shorts today. You're looking at key levels, and we've got our range bound environment, which we already had it marked out. And then what we're looking at, okay, we had a stop run there, and I was saying when we were over here that I'm not looking to long. For me to long, I need to start looking for higher prices, blah blah. But the fact that you've got this high here, it looks like BTC back in March. March, the quarterly range we talked about, all-time high, then a new all-time high, breaks down, and off we go. Same thing, just a rinse and repeat. Price is a fractal, isn't it? So let's see. So next thing, if New York KZ takes out London KZ, yeah. So if it takes out the, so what we'll talk about that in the group, Nick. We'll talk about it in the group. All right. A fractal basically means when like price has done it before. It's like a copy and paste. So for example, this is a fractal, right? See how we got this key level high, come back up, come back down. Then we go back up, right? And then, most people will be bullish, but instead, once we break out this level, so this is the key level here. Once we break down, we're going to go a lot more lower, right? And it's a fractal of this level here, of BTC back on this. Made an all-time high, right? Doesn't have to be copy for copy, but it gives you the same gist of information. That's the all-time high. Comes back up. Takes out the high, makes a new all-time high, comes back down, and then it comes back up again, takes out the all-time high. In this instance, right, you got this high there. We do a stop run, and then we break down, and then off we go. So this price action here is very similar to what Algo is doing at the moment. So we could get a stop run on Algo actually. So if we look at the same thing, let's see. Let's go to 1 hour. We could do the same thing. What we could do is have a stop run of this high later. Right, it could come back down, do a stop run, finds resistance off here, and it breaks down, and off we go. And that would have been pretty much the same as the BTC chart I just showed you. That's a fractal. So when price has done a very similar movement before, and is doing the same thing as it is now. Does that make sense, Justin? Alright guys, I'm going to call it a day. And yeah, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow we have another episode, see what happens there. Awesome, perfect. So yeah, and we go from there. So I'll catch you guys then, and I'll see you guys soon, alright? Take care of yourself and have a good day there.